Welcome back to Stack Your Points. This week it is a shortened show. No, we're not going to say shortened show, but it is just Lonnie and myself this week. Lonnie from the Call Me Lonnie YouTube channel. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm starting to feel, well, I definitely feel much better. I got my voice back. I'm not coughing every 3 words. Still coughing just a little bit, but I'm better. Like I am a functioning member of society again. I am officially sub saying below $1,000 on my most recent sub before I hit it. I am in the final stretch already. That's what
Very
I was trying
nice.
to say. Um, what else? In my time of being ill and being stuck at home and being quarantined from the rest of my family, I also decided to just walk through the garage and find like all this crap that's just sitting in there. So I've been selling off a bunch of stuff on eBay recently as well. It's been doing very well. People just want random old stuff from people. So I'm at least made it a productive illness. So I'm good. I'm good.
Very good. And I'm glad to hear you're feeling better. Good things all around there. And eBay can always be like another form of revenue for folks. It's interesting to see how that plays out. We are running a bit shorthanded this week. Life is lifing for a couple of our co-hosts, but Lonnie and I are gonna take it away. And we've got your questions, we've got some topics, so it'll be a good time. As always, we like to start with our questions. Our first
Oh,
question,
before we get to that,
yeah,
I'm doing a Q&A. I like never do Q&As. I have a
yeah,
Google
this is true.
form and it will be members only Q&A and it will be released on this channel. So for all members on this channel, and I'll also release it on my personal channel as well. But I need questions to answer. So if you want to participate, you would like to hear, as long as it's not too personal. I'm not going to give you my personal address. I'm not going to give you my mother's maiden name or my high school mascot. As long as you keep it on topic, there's a good chance I will address and answer it. We will put a link in the description or in a comment if you want to participate. And yeah, thank you for all the members that help support our channel. And so I'm really excited to see what type of questions y'all ask me. If y'all can throw me for a wrench around your travel or your credit cards, or if you just want advice or an opinion on something, let's figure it out. And I'm happy to help. But it's my first time. I've never done a Q&A before. So let's do this.
It'll be exciting, and our members throw Lonnie those questions, and he, as he said, it's going to be both on his channel and here. You can do the double dip, or just throw him a question in the form, and you'll see it either way. So that is, check us out, stackyourpoints.com, or just join the membership on our channel if you'd like. We have various tiers. We will talk about that at the end, but very exciting stuff for Lonnie there. And we'll be doing more members only stuff soon as well. There we go. This week, we're going to move over to our topics. We've got two quick topics. Nothing in the news roundup. There was a new card announced today from BMO Harris. I haven't had the chance to look into it, so we'll do news another time. But Lonnie, what is your topic for this week?
So all these different banks and everything, they're refreshing everything. Everything we're in a refreshen. Oh boy, that was a good one. That was like at least 6.5 out of 10.
The refreshening.
But at the same time, credit card debt in this country is higher than it's ever been. And more people are putting stuff on credit cards for whatever reason that they need to. I'm not talking about their financial savviness or their financial situations, but more and more people are just putting things on credit cards. Like I put everything on a credit card. So I'm talking about me too. There's higher inflation. Are all these refreshes needed at the moment? So my question is, are credit card brands becoming more greedy, or are they actually looking to provide more value to their customers or to entice customers versus just a cash grab? And we have to take out the business aspect. Yes, it's a business. The business is there to make money. They're there to make profit for their board and the shareholders, etc. Take that part out of it. Is this a growth strategy that you see them doing, or is this what everyone else is doing it? So we're going to cash grab and just do that. I want to understand, in this case, your opinion, Matt.
Sure. The super simple answer is that if you adjust for inflation from the time that the last refresh happened, that you're probably paying less now than you were when you first paid that new annual fee however many years ago. So
Okay.
in the American Express Platinum, right? It's been $695 now for about 4 or 5 years. $695 5 years ago versus $695 now. Adjust for inflation, you're probably looking at around 850, which is one of the rumored numbers. So the simple answer tends to be like they're just adjusting back up for inflation. Now, do I think $550 back when the last Sapphire Reserve was refreshed is $795 today? It's close, but I do think there is something of an aspect of the you pay me portion of things. And very
Mm.
few companies get to be in a place where they do the FU, where they can be the FU pay me company. In the tech world, Apple. Apple gets to be FU pay me. Samsung, to a certain extent, can be FU pay me now. Right? Laptops for a while, it was HP, not so much anymore. Lenovo is the big FU pay me company that I can think of on the PC side of things. Dell is an FU pay me kind of company on the PC side of things. In the credit card world, it's American Express. You want this, you're going to pay. If you want X, you're going to pay Y. Now, we will give you incentives to make paying Y a little bit easier. But if you want entree into American Express Centurion lounges, into all of the value that the American Express Platinum card gives you, and we're going to tell you that we give you plenty of value, you got to work hard for it, as you mentioned in your members only video today. You got to work for it to get all that value. But we're going to convince you that you pay us $695. We will give you $2,500 worth of value if you work for it. The exact number, I don't think it's exactly $2,500, but y'all know the marketing. Y'all who have the platinum, y'all made that agreement with the marketing department. If you hold the CSR, you made that agreement with Chase's marketing department. It doesn't matter what bank it is, right? So the refreshes are in part, I think, adjusting for inflation. It just happens to be at a time where adjusting for inflation happens to be in a state of inflation in the general economy. So that doesn't really help with the pain. And then you do have to look at, are they providing more value? How much value is $300 in StubHub if you don't shop through StubHub for your tickets because you had a bad experience with StubHub and you don't want to give StubHub your money? If you're a Live Nation or a Live Nation and Ticketmaster customer, is $300 worth switching back to StubHub, a company that you may or may not have had good experiences with? I don't know. That's something for you to determine. But Chase is making the bet that it is. With American Express, you're an infrequent flyer. You only fly once every couple of years. Are you willing to invest in the United Travel Bank? American Express is betting that you don't. And American Express is really hoping that you don't know that you can put your travel credit into the United Travel Bank so that they can keep that $200.
I didn't say that
Um,
earlier, by the way. Spill those beans.
Nope. Delta has a similar sort of program. Delta, you can use your incidental credit on various things that are not specifically like Delta travel. They have things that qualify for American Airlines. They have things that qualify for pick an airline, and that's why they do it. But they're betting that you're not going to use those credits. So in this
Mhm.
time frame, where prices of everything are still going up, largely based on factors that are actually in the government's control to fix if they so chose, but they're choosing not to, it does hurt a little bit more right now. Do I think that there's an aspect of greed? I do think there is some greed, but that greed would be more fueled toward the business side of things. And if you're asking me to take the business out of it, I don't think that what they're doing right now necessarily falls into FU Pay Me. Chase isn't on doesn't have a platform to stand on for FU Pay Me. You would think they would as the biggest bank and one of the biggest credit card issuers, but like they're getting a lot of backlash from the changes that they've already announced, whether it was backlash on the United cards, backlash on the Sapphire Reserve. They're probably going to get backlash on the Sapphire Preferred when that gets updated. And God help if they choose to make major changes to the ink cards on the no annual fee side and make those even harder to get because people will complain, but people like to complain about everything on the internet. That's how we got to where we are. Do I think it's a growth strategy? I don't know if it's a growth strategy necessarily. I think it's a growth strategy for banks coming into entering or re-entering the higher end of things. Like when Wells Fargo does a $600 card, Like that is a plan for growth to get more people in the door with Wells Fargo, and they're going to have to do it as the loss leader for a little bit. Citi, I don't know what Citi's strategy is with Strata Elite, but Strata Elite is supposed to be getting people through the door. It's supposed to be a growth strategy, getting people back in with Citi, and the American Airlines partnership is a bigger, even bigger part of that. Come to us, we have AA. If AA is your jam. Do I think all of these refreshes are needed? Not necessarily, but I think the confluence of them all coming together at the same time is you're taking a risk. I can't be seen as not taking a risk. And I have at least some risk mitigation because of my brand reputation. If you're American Express, we're taking a risk because I don't know if you're Chase. We're taking a risk, but we landed the plane with American Airlines. If you're Citi, Capital One hasn't really been doing anything this year. Wells Fargo's been very quiet this year. So, like, I think there are banks that are a bit more risk averse, and there are banks that are willing to take the risk right now because they are on a more solid footing and have the ability to take that risk. The banks that don't have the ability to take that risk, they've been quiet. Like, Capital One's been working on their Discover stuff. Like, once they got the merger approved and everything went through, they are not launching credit cards right now. They are not like out there changing credit cards. They're desperate for signups, so they're throwing out new welcome offers recently, but they're not changing the core structure of their cards in any way, shape, or form. Wells Fargo is like in witness protection is in WITSEC right now. If you say Wells Fargo the wrong way, like they're going to change their address, they're going to bag them up in the middle of the night, they're going to move them up to like Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and then if you say it again, they're going to move them to like Billings, Wyoming, Billings, Montana. Like they're in WITSEC. I have no idea what's going on there. And then there are other banks that are starting to make that are starting to like step out and show that they've got new products, but we're not giving them the same compliments that we are to the big banks because we condition ourselves to the big banks. Like Citizens' new cards, they're all really nice cards, the ones that they launched a couple weeks ago, but we're not going out of our way to highlight Citizens. So do I think they're becoming more greedy? I think banks inherently are greedy, but that's part of the business to me. That's not part of what they're doing. So right now, are they needed? Possibly,
Yeah.
but not really. And it just so happens that they're stepping into an inflationary state that they have very little control over. Where, like, if they were just doing a cost of inflation adjustment, they would be fine. But with everything else being more expensive because of reasons, it's sounding a bit more deaf than they were hoping.
Oops, I muted myself, thinking I was unmuting myself. No, I I'm not gonna repeat everything you just said, but I completely agree, and that's the reason why I was asking that question of right now the best time?
No.
And could it have been any other time later? Now, of course, we can't go into the past. So if you were going to do it, you should have done it earlier, especially like you were saying, if you were talking about inflation, especially like some of these cars that haven't refreshed in a very long time. You had years to use the inflation card. Inflation hasn't gone backwards. And yet now's the time that we need to do it. And in my opinion, the sheer fact that everyone is doing it makes it seem like a cash grab, in my
Yes.
opinion. This is the tariff thing. And it's like, oh, the tariffs, that's why the prices went up. But your tax is made in America. So what do you mean the tariff thing is why the prices went up?
Depending on like where they're sourcing their materials and everything. But yeah, no, that yeah.
We don't
Um,
need to. I'm being facetious. We don't need to get into the semantics of that, but you see what I'm saying
yeah.
there. You're catching what I'm throwing.
Yeah. No, I think the best time, if you were going to blame inflation, the best time to have done like some of these cash grabs would have been before November of 2024. If you were doing this 12 months ago, I think customers would still be upset, but like they'd be looking at an economic landscape that would be a little bit greener than what we're seeing right now.
Yep.
So I think that confluence has not helped the banks, but I don't think it's the usual cabal of we just got on the golf course together and we all decided to change our cards all at the same time. I
Yep.
don't know if that's necessarily the case.
I think that is the case. That's
That's
true.
fair. No, that makes a fair amount of sense. And I can't fault that line of thinking. But it's not the sort of thing where, oh, a patent just expired on insulin, so now I can charge $5,000 a vial for insulin. It's not that level of gouging, but I'm not going to say that gouging isn't a part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, to the companies that did that with insulin, you're terrible people. Fix yourselves. Anyway, sorry. My topic I ask earlier this summer, Chase rolled out its version of pop-up jail based on when you'd previously gotten the Sapphire card's welcome offer. We immediately saw people trying to break this, where it was, oh, I downgraded this card to a Freedom card, and then 2 days later, I applied for the Sapphire Reserve. I got the 100,000 point welcome offer. I got the $500 travel credit. Really seems easy. Like lifetime language. I didn't get a pop-up. What are you talking about? And now, with that offer seeming to close in the next couple of days, Chase is starting to tighten the noose a little bit and not allowing it. Now, I'm sure they'll loosen it when they redo the Sapphire Preferred, and Chase will do this in cycles. But the folks that break it now, they're starting to feign incredulity now that the noose is tightening. And my question here is, why are bank terms so hard to accept? We may do this. Like, subject to our rules, we will do this. But people seem to think that the banks owe them. And why?
Fun question. First off, the banks owe you nothing. They are not your friend. You came to them.
Yes.
You went to them. Yeah, all one, I don't even want to say it was forced, because technically, like, if you have money, you should put it somewhere, and under your mattress is probably not the best spot. So you had to go to a bank. But outside of that, of holding your money, like when it comes to these cards, we went to them every single time. We made our own choice. They did not come knock on our door and be like, get in the car. You're coming to get this credit card from us. We went to them every single time. Now, the point of your question, and then the fact of not accepting the terms or trying to make a break or finding a loophole or trying to get around something in some way, is just the natural state of American. It's just one of the things we do literally in this country is we want a plug, we want a deal, we want a hookup, we want something that someone else can't get for whatever reason, to make you feel better about yourself, to make you seem more elite than the next person. It's, oh man, I'm in pop-up jail, and yep, Chase, I still got this card. Or I'm in 524. I've gotten cards over 524, and I've even made, well, members only videos about it, to ask, yo, like, why? If the rule is 524 and I'm 724, why'd they just approve me for this card? And then can't really say nothing. I just told you I got the United Quest card. Got another card. I'm over 524. But it's a, wait a sec. There's two sides to this next part. It's, if that's the rule, how come it's not the rule for everyone? And
Mhm.
if that's not the rule for everyone, if it can be bent, it can be broken. And if it was one of those two, how come the rule was bent or broken for Matt and not for me? I want that too.
Yeah.
And so now I refuse to accept that this is legit because someone else was able to get around it, whether it be 524, whether it be pop up jail, whatever. I've also made a video about how I beat pop up jail. Matt, don't come at me. It wasn't the best integrity, but I did it. Okay, y'all, I did it. And that one's staying behind members only.
Yup. Yup.
Even I'm not proud of it. Got my card though, but
Tell you what, I watched that one and I was just like, oh, Lonnie. All right, I'll allow it.
but I was very honest and transparent in it. Like, you got to give me that. I'm not going to
Hmm.
talk about in the public forum how I did it or what I did to do it. That one has to stay behind, because I don't like to use your mileage may vary, but that's on you. Anyway,
Yep.
got my card though. But and that's just the thing. It's to for me to be able to say, yeah, I figured out a way to get around pop up jail. Might be not be the most legit way to get around it, but it worked. Well, someone else is going to be like, oh, if it worked for you, it should work for me. That's not how it goes. Just because we both walked in the convenience store and stole a candy bar and you got caught doesn't mean I'm supposed to get caught too. And if I did, it's because you was a snitch. The snitches get stitches. But it comes down to it's like we almost feel entitled to be able to get over on something. And like I said, it's the American way of it's the crying teenager that gets pulled over by the cops. How come they get off with a warning and I get a ticket? I like it's this level of fairness, if you will, or this level of equality, if you will. And so when it comes to the rules or the terms, and it's oh, this is what you're supposed to get. And it's I refuse to accept that because we can get around that. And I'm somebody that looks for loopholes. You know, my entire credit card strategy has come around loopholes and point stacking. Well, I'm not afraid to admit it. I am right there with you where I'm like, oh, I'm not going to accept that. You're not supposed to get Rakuten and Honey deals at the same time. Yeah, I know how to figure that out. Once
Mhm.
again, not legit, and you have to slightly know how to code a website in real time to do it. But if I can get double the points from two separate things and my credit card, then heck, I'm going to do it whenever I can. I refuse to accept it. I refuse to accept the rule. It's just a natural way of things, and I don't think it's something that's not necessarily wrong, but I don't think we're ever fully gonna accept it because we always know there's a way to do it. There's always a way around. There's always a way through. And like I said, from someone that I'm not gonna say I'm the best coder in the world, I won't even say I'm a coder at all. You I know there's a way to get things done. There's an algorithm, a word, maybe two spaces, a comma, a hashtag, or something that I can put in there that breaks the system or achieves the result that I want. And I think using that as a metaphor or an analogy, if you will, is why we all think the exact same way. I can run that red light because no one's there and I didn't hurt anybody. You still broke the rule. You broke the law, no matter if someone was there or not. The tree fell in the wood. Did it make a sound? Yeah, it still made a sound. But just because no one was there to hear it doesn't mean it didn't make the cracking crash sound. We are just looking for our win in whatever sense, if you will.
No, that definitely makes a fair amount of sense. Like it's just it is. I don't have the right word for it. When I am on like when I'm looking at credit card Reddit and or I'm looking at the Chase Sapphire subreddit or the churning subreddit and folks are like various data points said this would work. I did it. It didn't work for me. What the heck? And I'm
What
saying,
exactly?
yeah, like that person that it worked for before, you don't know their relationship to Chase. You don't know their relationship to American Express. You don't know if
Mhm.
Chase or American Express, like that person has so much spend through one of those two banks that they're willing to sidestep it. Why? Because that person, while they're not profitable in terms of interest, they are very profitable in terms of swipe fees, and they are willing to let that person slide.
Yep, yep.
So we never know. And a big part of why we say your mileage will vary because your relationship with bank X can determine whether or not can a buy will be subject to bank X's rule for person Y, right? Like you could say, I could say right now, I am bulletproof to Wells Fargo. Any Wells Fargo card I want, I'm going to get. And I know I'm going to get it because every Wells Fargo card I've applied for, I have gotten. That is not the way to think about it because, yes, I have a long-standing relationship with Wells Fargo. Yes, I have followed their silly one card every 6 months rule. But just because I have a long-term relationship with Wells Fargo doesn't mean that if the Wells Fargo, like the next Wells Fargo card comes out, means I'm automatically going to get it.
You make a ridiculously great point there, especially when I say I'm over 524 and Chase keeps allowing me to get new cards. Once again, I know my relationship with Chase. I know my tenure. I know my history with them. I've been with them for a very long time since I got my first United Explorer card, which is decades old at this point on an account with them.
Yep.
And without getting into the numbers, they know how much money I make. They know how much money because I give them my salary. I'm one of the few people that actually says, here's how much money I make. And they can actually see that because they see how much money I'm putting through their cards. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because even though I'm over 524, like I said, I just got United Quest card. They approved me, but they didn't approve me for any more credit. They were like, "We're gonna approve you for this card, but we're gonna take credit off your CSR and put it on this card.
Yeah.
You're gonna spend it, but dude, you won." It's like the dude in the gym with the muscles everywhere. Like, what are you here for? What else are you working on?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I know why you're here, but we're not gonna give you more credit. We're just gonna take credit from one of your other cards and we're gonna move it over here. And they approved me. But that's because I had a different relationship than Chase than someone else may have. They might not be
Mhm.
putting as much money as I put through with Chase. They might not they might not have the same amount of tenure that I have with Chase. To say I have a card that's literally over 10 years old and never had a late payment, they're like, "Oh yeah, this dude's okay."
Yeah.
Versus the person that just got started maybe last year with them, you're not gonna look at you the same way. There's a risk factor there. There's a tenure factor there. There's a loyalty factor there. And like you said, that might be a missing part of the equation that people skip out on. And at the same time, I think the word that you're looking for is annoying.
Yeah.
And it's annoying on both sides of the coin because there's people like I just did. I had a anecdotal story, a real life anecdotal story, and it's dude, just keep your mouth shut. And then because by me opening my mouth, tell someone else that, hey, they should get the exact same thing when we're on completely two different playing fields.
Yeah.
And so they're going to complain about it. And then there's someone else being like, look what I just got. I'm better than y'all. And the other person like, wait, I should be that. I should be getting that too. And it just creates a cycle of annoyance, if you will.
No, that is definitely true. Like I'll read through these points because I'm looking for news. I'm looking for something new. I'm looking for that new credit card that I gotta post a video about, and I'll get beaten by an hour anyway. Because why am I still doing that? But like I'm out there looking for those little pieces, right, that I can present to y'all for content. But I'm still reading like. I don't know why I'm the data point that says I got rejected. I don't know why Chase is not letting me get another welcome offer on the Sapphire Reserve card, even though it's been 6 years since my last one. Okay. Did you not read the language that said one welcome offer per lifetime and we can change this at any time? No, know your rules. I don't know. And then there's the folks who are like, call recon 15 times. And eventually you'll just wear them down to do it. It's a weird place we live, but that is a perfect example of America.
Hmm? America.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That wasn't a perfect example of America. That was a perfect example of America.
America.
Ugh. All right. Thanks, Lonnie. And I didn't mean to bring us down yet again, but you can call me Eeyore.
I didn't say that was a downer, but I'm gonna answer honestly. And I feel like my answer probably is gonna get a little bit of heat. But it's honest. And you know what? If I told the truth and I can be honest, I'm gonna sleep well tonight. My sleep score is gonna be above 90.
I have no idea what my sleep score is going to be, but it's not going to hit 90. But I'm still going to sleep better than most because I
It's
will.
not gonna hit 90 because it's super late as we record this. So there's no way I'm getting 90 tonight. But maybe I'll hit 90 tomorrow because I told the truth and I was an honest individual,
There we
which
go.
how my daddy raised me.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much for that, Lonnie. We're going to just briefly shout out our diamond members who are Rex Bleen, Rupert Pond, Double Animal Fries, AP, Keith, and Mitch 528. Didn't notice any new members at the silver or gold level, but you can join our memberships here on YouTube at any time. We'll give you a shout out to new members on the silver and gold when there are new members. We'll consistently shout out our diamond members if you want to join at the diamond tier level. That'd be fantastic. We're doing membership only videos. Lonnie's got his Q&A video that's going to be members only on the Stack Your Point side, so definitely check that out.
Drop me your questions. We're putting it in the pin or in the description wherever we're recording right now. I don't know where we're gonna put it when we upload, but it's gonna be down
I'll figure it out.
there.
Members get access to the full show. Like we cut the show up into two major pieces. If you're a member, you get the full show as soon as we're done editing it. So if that's going to help you, great. And we might eventually do a members only live. Who knows? But again, join us at the Stack Your Points YouTube page to become a member. If you want to check us out elsewhere, stackyourpoints.com. You can find Lonnie's channel through stackyourpoints.com. You can find my channel through stackyourpoints.com. You can find our Discord through stackyourpoints.com. And if you have any questions, there is the podcast questions section of the Discord. Is a contact form on stackyourpoints.com. And you can use the comments of any of our videos as well. Lonnie, any final thoughts?
All y'all are awesome. Thanks for rocking with us.
Absolutely. We are on the push to 600 subscribers here on Stack Your Points. We would love, love, love to get to 1,000. If there are friends of yours in the credit card community or like friends of yours who are getting interested in credit cards, share us. See, I like to think that we do a little bit of everything for everyone. We do take things a little bit more on the philosophical side of things. So if that's your jam or a friend's jam, we'd appreciate the share. But thanks so much for your time. We will talk to you next week. Bye for now.